Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. My name is Caleb. This is a continuation or a redo of a video tutorial I did earlier on NGAs and UCSs, non-graphic accessories, activating a user-created standard. And this standard, let's see what's going on with my video here. I don't know if you can see this or not. Mine disappeared for a second, so hopefully refresh it here and see what's going on. In this video tutorial, I'm going to create a library part by shaping the part, locking the points, and saving it as a library part. I'm also going to create a NGA or non-graphic accessory that will adjust the price or add to the price of the cabinet. It'll add a note to the cabinet in the report center. We're also going to take note of the changes that are made in the object tree. These changes in the object tree are what allows us to activate our UCS. Basically, it's going to allow us to create our filter for our UCS, so our UCS knows when the NGA or non-graphic accessory is present. Then we're actually going to create the UCS. And just a note right now, the recorded video, sorry about the window size. This is going into Google because that's where I'd like to host the videos as I create these video tutorials. The window size by default is 320 by 240, rather small window, basically the half of old school window or old school video. So sorry about the size. I tried doing a full screen or a full window of a decent size of like an 800 by 600. But by the time Google got done compressing it to the window size that it needed to be, it was hard to read. There's a yellow dot that should be following my cursor as we speak. If I left click or normal click, that dot should turn red, and if I right click, that dot should turn blue. Again, left click, if I ever click, should turn red. Left or normal click will be red. Right or alternate click will be blue. And any other time, my cursor should be highlighted in yellow. Again, sorry about this window size, but I'm using Cam Studio, and it's allowing me to follow the cursor as I move. So let's get started. We're going to just add a standard wall cabinet to the wall here. Go ahead and remove the doors, because normally, by the way, the library part we're going to use is a shaped rail. Many people who do framed cabinets use shaped rails for valances, shaped rails for shaped toe kicks. So our shaped rail, we're going to try to make it smart and be able to use it in base cabinets as well as wall cabinets. We're going to start by creating a shaped top rail though. So we will edit this cabinet, if I can get off of it. We're just going to say edit. Personally, our shaped rails are 7 inches if they're on a wall cabinet and 5.5 if they're on a base cabinet. The reason for this is on a wall cabinet we normally have a 3-inch top rail, and on a base cabinet when we do a shaped rail we like to have 4 inches. So we combine the two. The height of a top rail is 3. The height of the cutout is 4. So that gives us 7 inches. And a bottom rail, because a bottom rail is normally 1.5 inches, a bottom rail 1.5 inches plus 4 for a cutout is normally a 5.5 inch bottom rail. So let's start first. We're going to go to the face frame and make our top rail 7 inches. I do it in this cabinet properties window so that I can show you what show you a specific perimeter. Basically, when I just changed that, manually overrode the top rail, it added a parameter to my object tree at the cabinet level of TR. We're going to use this little TR in our UCS, so just remember that. So we're going to close that. Just wanted to show where that was. We're now going to edit this part. We want to edit the shape of this top rail. And all we're going to do is arc the line. We're just going to do a real simple shaped rail, a continuous arch shaped rail. We want to use the tool of reference point. All parts and cabinets have a default reference point. I don't need to change the reference point. I just need to know which one is referenced. So horizontal or left to right. I want to be dead center for my midpoint. So that's 13.5. 30-inch cabinet minus an inch and a half left style minus an inch and a half right style gives me 27 divided by 2 is 13.5. Again, I said that we wanted 3 inches left over. So in this case, that's a -3 in the vertical offset. We're just going to click OK. And notice that gives us a nice, pretty arch shaped. If we were to grow and stretch the cabinet, this shape would no longer be true to leaving 4 inches and dead center left to right to that high point. So we want to edit this part. You can lock points in the cabinet editor face view. However, those points sometimes get skewed. So I always like to take the part to part editor, re-edit shape. I like to edit the shape, initial shape, before I get here, so that I have an idea of top and bottom, left and right, that type of thing. So again, we're going to go from, we don't even need reference point. We're just here to lock shapes because we've already sized it. So I click on it, come over here, and I'm going to say that it's from the right and from the center. And where I get this from, and it'll take some practice for you to get used to it, but basically my black bar is on the side that I'm referenced from. So I'm referenced from top and bottom, so that's center because I have 2 of them. So I'm referenced from the center of the board, and my point should be center, so center of the board and center work perfect. I'm on the bottom edge and I want 4 inches. So no matter how tall or short my top rail gets, my cutout will always be 4 inches. So that's how we get that. Of course, we want to save that. Now we want to save it as a library part so that we can replace other parts at will with this part. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to say to save to library. We need to select a catalog. Most people will be using custom cabinets, so we're going to click custom cabinets. I already have a shaped rail in there, but we're going to name this one arched rail. We do not want to save size or material. Usually avoid those if you, or most of the things I'll ever do, I'll avoid them. You can find more out about those on the forums. We probably want to output to CNC. So we're going to say OK. Now, and I did want to show you, make sure you remember the name of this part, shaped rail, or actually arched rail. That's the one we just created. Shaped rail is old. And which catalog it's located. It's located in custom cabinets catalog. And again, arched rail. We need to remember that. So if we had a normal cabinet, now because that's already saved, it would actually, we can actually use this one since it already has. if we right click and say replace with library part, arched rail, and remember again it needs to be 7 inches tall. Say it's 7 inches. Notice my nice shape, exactly how I want it. It should be 4 inches up from the bottom, no matter what width I have or what height. So if we increase this, go back, it still looks good. So anyway, that's where our library part is. Now let's create an NGA where I'm going to add a subfolder or group called options mods and select an icon that's not easily passed by. By the way, I right clicked in the white space and clicked add item. Again, I'm going to right click and this time I'm going to say add accessory. The name of your item should always or should never have a space. So this is going to be, we're just going to say arch top rail. We're going to say shaped rail just so that I can show you different stuff. The name of the NGA is going to be what triggers our UCS. So it cannot have spaces, that's very important. And we need to remember it, so I like to highlight, do Control+C, Control+C is copy. Description shows up in our report center, so that needs to be shaped rail. Price, again, we like to see price in our bid center to see that we changed something. We could change the icon. I like to leave this icon just to stay that we can. Let's drag this NGA onto our cabinet. Let's go and look at the object tree and see how it affected our cabinet. Notice we have order entry here and arch top rail all within our cabinet. Let's see what a normal cabinet looks like. Notice this is of the cabinet that we have our NGA attached to, and order, then the NGA, and con equals 1. This cabinet we have no NGA attached to it, and so there's no order or arch top rail in the tree of this cabinet, but there is in our first cabinet. So that con equals 1 is how we're going to activate our UCS. Also, let's go ahead and look at the reports tab. Notice our cabinet and our NGA are here, as well as description of that NGA. Sorry about all the scrolling. I know it gets tiring after a while. Let's go ahead and look at the report center as well. Report center, you'll notice that I have 2 cabinets, but only one cabinet has an item within its box. And I said that description came out in the report center and it's listed under comments. Just FYI. By the way, I do not believe this report comes stock installed from Cabinet Vision. you'll need to download the reports from the Cabinet Vision website, and a cabinet accessory list is on there. So let's go do our UCS now. Notice I already created one. I'll show you basically how I did it. First, I set a name. Then I found top rail because that happens to be what we're changing. And I selected modify part. And then I said finish. We're changing a part. So here you see a yellow board going to a red board. So you've changed it. This happens to be link apart. And I forgot what the icon looks like for delete apart. The part we selected is in the parts column. It says top rail. So we'll go ahead and edit this. And for each TR part, that's what we want to leave, because that's the part we are affecting. For each, if you want to affect a part or add parameters to a part, it must be listed in your for each line. We need a filter or a condition for our, sorry about the move there, I don't know what had just happened. So we need a condition. So remember, we noticed that it said cabinet order dot, and remember we copied, so we can do a control V to paste, control V paste the name of our NGA, and we noticed that con equals 1 in that UCS, or in that object tree. So that's our filter. Now we're going to say we need the TR to equal 7. This will change our cabinet. And we need the library part to be, I believe, custom cabinets dot, what we say, did we say arched rail, I believe is what we called it. It's important to remember these things, although I'm not doing a very good job of leading by example here. And we'll say indiff. Again, sorry for the window that you can't see the whole UCS. But this should be exactly all we need. Well, we probably want to set a name, and I'll tell you why later. Well, not later, I'll tell you why now. The reason you probably want a name is you're eventually probably going to have several of these UCSs that change the part, and it would be nice that your part label would come out with a name. So we're going to say arch top rail, and that looks good. That should be what we need. We're going to say a close. Yes. Oh, line 7, error locating library part. So we have our library location wrong. So let's go back and see if we can figure out where we messed up. So, did we miss the library part? Arched rail. So custom cabinets, arched rail. Let's see, utilities. Sorry about this, guys. But make sure this other UCS is off that I was playing around with earlier today. Sorry about that. So custom, there it is, arched rail. Sorry about that, just a simple spelling mistake. That's what happens though when you're playing around with UCSs. So if, go ahead and remove the doors here. So if we drag and drop our NGA onto this new cabinet and hit enter twice, we should see it change. We're going to rebuild. We selected the cabinet by clicking on it. We first dropped an NGA onto that specific cabinet, just like you would drop a cabinet onto a wall, but just make sure you're over top of the cabinet you want to affect before you let go. Hit enter twice, and the first enter changes the part, second enter changes the size, and voila, easy enough. We're also going to look, notice it added our NGA, added our line. I'm not sure if I have Bid Center really set up to see this, but yeah, there we go. We added prices to our NGA. That's the only price I have in here, so it's the only price showing up, but it's in here, so you can do a line item if you ever wanted to. Just know that you can do that. What else did I want to show you? Oh yes, I wanted to show you that because our UCS renames the part, you actually get to see top rail, arch top rail right here. Our part says arch top rail instead of just normal top rail. So that should be working. That should be just about everything. Let's check our notes here and see if we went over everything. We created a part. We shaped that part. We locked the points. Remember to take the part to the part editor to lock the points, because it's hard to do so from the cabinet editor. You can't really see what you're doing. We created NGA. Remember, no spaces in the name of the NGA. Do set a description. Description can be just about anything. We set a price for that NGA, which does come out in the Bid Center. We set the description and the name of the NGA come out in the Report Center, so it basically adds a note to the cabinet for you, so that's great. And we made note of changes in the object tree. So we covered that. We created the UCS. Again, name is very important. You have to get that exact right on. The library part, you have to get the location right on. And of course, we already went over the video stuff at the very beginning. Again, this has been Caleb. Just giving you a little how-to on creating NGA and UCS, and activating that UCS through the presence of that NGA. If you have any questions, let me know. Sorry for it being so time consuming.